The flood of leaks and rumors about Assassin's Creed Infinity, Codename Red, Codename Hexe, and quite surprisingly Unity is not stopping at all, and in this video we're going to share all the recent news from the recent leaks about two specific features from the Infinity platform and the strategy concerning the games that are going to release on it, including some huge leaks about Hexe's main character, a new Assassin's Creed remaster, and some news or non-news on Assassin's Creed Unity, to the recent rumors about Codename Red, including some new info about its combat and stealth features, and especially a major evolution on one of Valhalla's main systems. So no time to waste, let's dive right in and have a look at the recent Assassin's Creed rumors. And we start, like I said, with some news or non-news about Assassin's Creed Unity of all games. In fact, a few days ago, YouTuber Jonathan, who has shared multiple rumors and leaks in the past that have oftentimes turned out to be true, he did share this tweet, where he said that he was told that Ubisoft is cooking up something related to Assassin's Creed Unity. Jonathan said he doesn't know anything more than that, which means it could be anything or nothing, like I said, a non-news, but it could at least lead to a 4K 60 FPS patch as Jonathan mentioned, so at least there's that. Plus 2024 is the 10th year anniversary of Unity, and Rogue for that matter, so it wouldn't be a surprise if we got to see some love for Unity. Some of that is already out there, by the way, especially considering the fanbase that the game still has to this day. Next up, there are a lot of rumors and leaks coming from Insider Gaming concerning Assassin's Creed Infinity, the upcoming platform that is going to host the various Assassin's Creed games that was announced at the Assassin's Creed Showcase in 2022. As it was sort of announced officially, Insider Games reports that starting with Codename Red, Infinity will be the core hub of the franchise from which games are going to be launched. Apparently, Insider Gaming received some demo footage showing the user going from the Infinity hub to Assassin's Creed Codename Red in the matter of seconds, which is a feature that honestly consoles are already able to do right now with their quick restart or quick launch activity feature, so the Infinity platform will also supposedly do the same. So not a huge shocker there, at least for me, though a welcome feature for sure, but Insider Gaming did share some more information about Infinity. In fact, according to them, the main focus of Infinity will be a live service offering, which is going to be wrapped up into the modern day story, which had already been announced to now be told only through the platform and not within games, which on paper I'm not a huge fan of, like at all, but I guess this is how it is now. So Infinity is going to be a live service platform, and it will contain some features that are indeed common to such platforms. One of these is supposedly going to be called The Exchange, which is basically going to be an online item store which will allow players the chance to purchase daily and weekly in-game cosmetics for the two rumored protagonists of Codename Red, that is Naoe and Yasuke, but I suppose this is also going to apply to the other games on the Infinity platform. So I guess this might be like a unified store for all the games, where Ubisoft might place the coolest outfits for people to buy with real world money instead of having them available in-game. Not amazing that the first feature we're discussing is the new presumably unified microtransaction place, but here we are. Another feature that the Infinity Hub will provide, according to Insider Gaming, is going to be called synchronization, which instead of items will provide players with so-called projects for each of the protagonists of Red, and again I'd imagine this will apply to the other games as well. Projects are described to essentially be mini battle passes with a narrative behind them, offering the players the ability to also earn cosmetic rewards, which is a weird description. That's basically what a Ubisoft pet DLC or free update usually is, minus new map areas maybe, but still, that does bring some questions and worries of its own. If these mini DLCs feature narrative, how much of the actual story is going to be detached from the main game to be sold separately? Or are these going to be self-contained stories? How many of them are going to be free or paid? Again, it's nothing new per se. We have already seen with the likes of Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla how chunks of narratives were made available separately, both as paid DLCs and free quests, with those oftentimes being treated as self-contained stories and very rarely continuing the actual narrative of the main game, which in my opinion damaged the experience for players greatly, but yeah, that's how live service games work, and Red is supposed to have the biggest live service plan tied to it compared to the previous games of the franchise, so we'll see how that pans out. Insider Gaming went on to share a few bits about what they understand the new strategy for Infinity currently is, and the plan seems to be releasing a mainline game every 2 years with smaller or different experiences in between. For example, Codename Red is scheduled for later this year, Invictus, the multiplayer game, is set for 2025, and Hexe, which is another single-player mainline title, is scheduled for 2026. Speaking of Hexe, Insider Gaming dropped a huge leak if it's turning out to be true. In fact, according to them, the supposed darkest Assassin's Creed game ever will have a single female protagonist currently named Elsa, which, if this is actually true, will make her the first sole female protagonist of a mainline Assassin's Creed game and the first sole female protagonist within the AC games in general since 2015 if we count the spin-off game Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, which starred Xiao Jun. Again, if this is true, it's going to be huge and it's going to be a pretty big but also very late response by Ubisoft to the criticisms that have surged with the community, at least since the announcement of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and surely since the various scandals that hit the company in 2020. But back to the strategy for Infinity, Red, Invictus and Hexe are not the only Assassin's Creed games in development that might end up on the hub. In fact, Insider Gaming is now listing 5 games being in development beyond 2026. Project Obsidian, that is the remake for Assassin's Creed Black Flag that we recently discussed on the channel, Project Nebula, that is going to be set in India, the Aztec Empire and the Mediterranean, Project Raid, a free-to-play PvE 4-player co-op game, then Project Echoes, another multiplayer title based on Ubisoft's Scalar technology, and another huge leak, another Assassin's Creed remake. So yeah, there seems to be a lot of games to be looking forward to at the moment, and interestingly enough, Jonathan recently weighed in on the matter, discussing the information shared by Insider Gaming, and out of his video, which you can find in the description, 2 main elements seem to emerge. The first one is that, if I got it correctly, quote-unquote, from what he heard, this new Assassin's Creed remake might be the remake of the first Assassin's Creed game, which could be perfect for a release in 2027, the year of the 20th anniversary of the original game. The second element emerging from Jonathan's video is a supposed big leak that Jonathan said he hid in his video, and that it has to do with Hexe, and user Targaryen War Crimes did notice that while Jonathan was showing these AI generated pictures to support his commentary, this blurred block of text appeared and it reads, "Should anything happen to me, Claudia, should my skills fail me or my ambition lead me astray, do not seek retribution or revenge in my remembrance, but continue to help others so that all might benefit," which is a partially incorrect version of a bit from an actual letter sent by Ezio Auditore to his sister Claudia in Assassin's Creed Revelations, and I wonder what might the leak be in here. I'd imagine maybe Claudia could appear in Hexe as a very, very old mentor-like figure for Elsa or any other German assassin of the time. Claudia was born in 1461, so it's already a stretch for her to be around between the 1580s and the 1630s, which is when the more publicly known German witch trials historically happened. Or maybe the leak is something else entirely. After all, Jonathan also mentioned in another tweet that there might be some more crossover stories and not only featuring Cassandra, so this might be the case in Hexe too. What do you guys think? I really want to know, so let me know in the comments below. So we have discussed the rumored strategy for what concerns the Assassin's Creed games in the near and far future, but of course the closest release to us is Assassin's Creed Codename Red, the upcoming game set in feudal Japan and rumored to release in the second half of this year. And once again we have a new bunch of rumors and leaks concerning this game coming from Insider Gaming and its main writer Tom Henderson. First and foremost, what matters more than everything else. It seems that there will be Shiba dogs in Red, and our 2 main characters, Naoi and Yasuke, will be able to pet them. The Shiba Inu is a breed of dogs from Japan that, for the purposes of Red's historical context, were used as hunting dogs and companions by the samurai. So yeah, now that the most important piece of news is out of the way, we can dive into more technical and gameplay related rumors and leaks concerning Red coming from LinkedIn and once again from Insider Gaming. As for what concerns LinkedIn, recently Assassin's Creed News found out the gameplay programmer Antoine Boulange mentioned he is currently working on Red on the design, implementation, and maintenance of a new so-called gaze or look at system, in French système de regard, which means looking or watching system basically, and I think it might be interesting to speculate on this. Could this be a new system to look around, to check your surroundings while moving, or more like a scouting system of sort? Let me know what you think in the comments again. And as for Insider Gaming, they did actually share a full article of rumors and leaks concerning Red. For starters, they did mention the Assassin's Creed franchise might not be moving to a new engine necessarily, while instead Ubisoft is and will be using an evolution of it called the Anvil Pipeline, and it looks like all the studios working on the franchise will be using a unified branch of this pipeline dedicated to Assassin's Creed, rather than each of them using different versions of the engine. This means, according to Insider Gaming, that Assassin's Creed will benefit visually from the quote-unquote lines of ray-traced global illumination and virtual geometry, but also, I would imagine, it might be easier for the studios to get all these upcoming games to communicate with each other. Insider Gaming reports that moving to the Anvil pipeline and to its unified branch for Assassin's Creed will also lead to a complete overhaul of many elements in the series, including animations, the parkour system, the dynamic weather, and more. From here, Insider Gaming dove a little bit deeper into some new info specific to Codename Red, the first of which dealt with combat in the game that their source described to be somewhat similar to Valhalla, featuring a lot more gore, including blood and decapitations, and honestly, I'm not so sure this is a welcome or not. Combat in Valhalla was quite fun, it was very diversified and arguably one of the biggest focuses of the game, but after 2.5 years of playing content on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I'm not too sure I'm ready for 2 to 3 more years of similar combat system. Plus Valhalla already had its fair share of blood and gore, so... Stealth will also apparently play an important role in Red, with the article mentioning some elements that had already been shared by Insider Gaming, such as extinguishing torches, hiding in tall grass and bushes, and even going prone to not get spotted. But while that was somewhat already known, Insider Gaming also did mention that they were able to see footage about a huge evolution to the settlement system from Valhalla taking place in Red. The settlement in Red is going to be called The Hideout, and in there players will be able to create and customize buildings such as armories, dojos, and more at their own will, going as far as being able to pick their location within the settlement area, choosing the building's roof design and also the interior layout, including the various spots where they can display their weapons and armor, and honestly, if this were true, it would be a huge improvement on the settlement that we've seen in Valhalla, with players being able to share their own version of their settlement, which I'd imagine would also provide some great opportunities for the virtual photographers out there, and it's going to be interesting to see how much this customized hideout is going to be integrated with the narrative and especially the mission system. As usual, we're going to have to wait and see. It's still too early even for the actual reveal of the game that is bound to happen in the coming months. And that's not to mention the games coming after Red, but of course there are so many rumors and leaks about all these games out there, so much that has been officially shared already and that we have gathered in a recent video, so you can be up to date on all the recent news about what's to come in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Thanks for watching, a huge thanks to all the ATA insiders and initiates that are supporting us day in and day out, and I'll see you all on our next video.